Hi there, it's a Dutch Sims 4 Master and welcome to this brand new The Sims 4 Around the World speed build. So today I'm back building a house from any country around the world, and this time it's Japan, but not just generally Japan, but Tokyo to be specific, because I've built a Japanese house before already, but today I'm building a house that's specifically from Tokyo, because recently I've been reading a lot of articles on our architecture websites, and well, not necessarily articles, but just I've been visiting many architecture websites like Design and Design Boom, and there you often see, or I often came across Japanese and Tokyo houses which are like in streets and which are very modern, often white, which don't have a lot of windows, which are still very bright inside, and which are in total contrast with its surrounding. And therefore I thought, why not build this time? And it actually turned out to be very interesting. The interior, I've got to say, and I've got to honestly admit, if you like interiors and that's the reason you watch this video, this is not the video for you, because the interior in this house just didn't turn out very nice, simply because I didn't really know how to create that real Tokyo feel, sort of, because it is very specific, but lighting is a very important factor in that. And it was very hard to actually get that right in the game, because I didn't have the opportunity to add very many windows, because that's in contrast with what they look like from the outside. And also I'd been building very many houses, because as you know, I've been doing a lot of pre-recording, because I'm on a holiday right while you're watching this, and therefore I wanted to make sure that you had a speed build to watch every week, which meant that I had to, because after I'm coming back from a holiday, I still have like a couple of weeks where I cannot upload a video, so therefore I had to pre-record for 6, or at least I had to pre-record 6 speed builds. And every time you do that, you have to like build several bedrooms, and you know how much I hate to create bedrooms simply because we don't have enough bedroom stuff in The Sims 4. Well, that's the reason I did add bedrooms, but they're like very simple. You'll see it in the video. There's like, yeah, it's very simple. I'm sorry for that, but yeah, this is sort of my protest against the lack of bedroom stuff in The Sims 4. But yeah, right now I've probably got to explain what I'm doing, because I'm creating a townhouse, or yeah, this is sort of like a townhouse or a Tokyo street. That's probably what I'll call it, because I've decided to also create the neighboring houses, because that's what's special about it. Because a very modern house like pure white isn't necessarily that special, but the special thing about it is that they're like in the middle of a regular street, a regular Asian street. I know that Tokyo is a little bit more well developed than some other parts in Asia, and therefore it's not the most typical Asian city. I've never been there, but I believe that's the way it is. If it's not, please let me know if you've been there or you live there. I'm also actually very interested in the amount of Japanese viewers I've got, because I don't hear a lot from them. Often people leave a message and they say where they're from, but often, or at least I don't often come across Japan. So if you're a Japanese viewer, please let me know, would be cool. But yeah, I decided to make the more regular houses as well, because that perfectly shows the contrast between, yeah, the traditional and the modern houses, because this is seriously something that is very typical for Japan. And it was very funny, because I uploaded the Ibiza speed build a couple of days or weeks, a week ago I believe, or no, a couple of days, and then someone commented that I should build a Japanese or Tokyo townhouse, and this was one which had never been suggested before. I know normally I only create builds which have been suggested, or for the Around the World speed build series, but this time I wanted to do something, or at least this came into my mind and I just wanted to do it. And then I was surprised that I actually saw this suggestion come by, because it's not a very typical thing. But yeah, it was funny to see that other people also associated Tokyo and their architecture with these kind of ultra modern builds, because seriously, this is the exterior, this white box, which is, yeah, it was sort of hard to create, or at least it's sort of, it might seem simple, but it's sort of hard to create something that's very simple but still looks good, because everyone can build a white box, but you've got to make sure that it looks good. I couldn't add very many windows, which is always hard, but in this way I kept it very simple, but using the blinds, or are it blinds, or just the shutters which I added in front, the slates. Using those, I actually managed to make it look interesting, but still very modern and simple, sort of, because that's what it's all about. And the interesting thing is that if I read or look at those architectural websites, they often show the inside as well, obviously, and then you see that inside there were very originally planned. In The Sims 4, you can't do any split leveling, or at least not advanced split leveling, so therefore I wasn't able to do that, but it's seriously very interesting to see that, or at least I found it interesting. But hey, I'm not studying architecture, or going to be studying architecture in like a couple of weeks with no reason. It's just I'm interested in this. But yeah, a big part of the video is therefore because the main building is so simple, me building the street houses around it, which is, yeah, I also inspired those from images I saw on Google, so also those should be pretty accurate. I sort of rebuilt some for as far as I could. By the way, I didn't create them at the back, and I also didn't furnish them, or I didn't create them at the back side, simply because that would take way too much time. And like I said, I'm pre-recording, I don't have that much time, and also it wouldn't really be interesting if you'd ask me. So here I'm thinking about the back of the building itself, try to be a little bit creative with the shape, but then I realized it didn't really work out, so I went for something more regular, I guess, a little bit more boring. But I believe these houses in real life are more boring from the back anyways, simply because it's got to look cool from the front, in that way that there's where people enter, where you've sort of get to impress people, or at least back in the day, of course, you had to impress people with your house. And I think nowadays there's still many people who build their houses in a fancy way just to impress people. So that's why the fronts get to look cool, but then the back doesn't have to be anything way too special. It's still got that same vibe going. I also use the blinds or the shutters. Please let me know what they are. These white things, are they blinds, are they shutters? I don't know, because yeah, I simply don't know. I know in the future video I'll still say it wrong, because by then I'll not have been able to read your comment yet, because this video will be up in 3 weeks, I believe, and that other video will have to be pre-recorded as well. One way which or one thing which I found pretty innovative, which I did, is this light thing which I added, because that's what you see in the real Tokyo townhouses as well. They've added like a hole in the roof in the middle, and then a glass all around it by going down, and in that way you create some good natural diffuse light into the house, which helped a lot, because without that I would really have to suffer with only just fake light, sort of, and I personally just really don't like fake light. I much prefer real natural light in real life, but also in The Sims, but mainly in real life actually. And yeah, here we're starting with the interior. Yeah, just stay tuned to see how I'm sort of screwing up, because I really didn't know what, yeah, I sort of knew what a Japanese interior looked like, but I find it very hard to accomplish that, or at least make it look good, because it's so simple that it's very boring, and it seems as if you've not really taken much care of the interior, and therefore I sort of had a hard time. I'm not sure if such a colorful painting isn't like belongs there, but because yeah, I would really like to visit Tokyo or just Japan, like in general, someday, because it's such a special culture and society. I think that I would just really find it interesting to go there. And also Tokyo is like a huge city. It's after Mexico City, I believe, the most inhabited city in the world, which is like crazy. And also like Japan is one of the Asian cities which is like very well developed, and generally a country which is very well developed. People live very long there, so that's just all very interesting. And I believe the people are interesting as well, because they're different, or at least different from what I know as Western people, and I've heard that from people visiting there, because Dutch people are sort of open and direct, and if they think something they often also say it. And I heard that Japanese people are different in that way, or in that sense. So I would it would be interesting to visit this country once, or several times, but at least sometime. And also it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's just a special country which I'd like to cross out on the scratch map, I guess. So yeah, to sort of go with the Asian vibe, I actually also added the poofs under the table. They're not really functional, but still they look cool, and that's sort of what it goes, or what it is all about in this series. If you want it to be usable, you've got to just add some different chairs, which shouldn't be a really big problem, because you can download this house from the gallery or just get it from the gallery. You don't really have to download it, you can just put it in your game. And here I'm starting the bedrooms, and then I realized that the shape of the bedroom is awkward, and I had to add those beds, which just, you know, it just didn't look right. So I'm adding some items, and you'll see that it's nothing too special. I'm also adding a gym in the house, so just so that I didn't have to add another bathroom, or no, just so that I didn't have to add another bedroom, because I really like creating bathrooms, but I just hate creating bedrooms. But I think I've said enough about that. I'm sure that someday there will be a pack for master bedrooms or just bedrooms in general, but until then I'll keep it low with the bedrooms, I guess. And here with the bathrooms, I'm using all the fitness stuff pack items again. I'm sorry if I'm using them a lot lately, but that's simply because these items are new, and yeah, maybe by the time you're watching this, the pack isn't really that new anymore. It's out for like 2 months already, but still I just wanted to use them because I think they're simply the best items in the game. Here I'm adding the gym, again some fitness items, and just something very simple. I didn't even bother adding a plant, I believe, or maybe one just to fill it up, and then I realized maybe at the back side I do have to sort of finish it off, or at least make it look natural, or not natural, but make it look sort of artistic by making black, white, you know, contrast. Therefore the house stands out. I guess that's a way to define it. And then here we've got the master bedroom, and behind there another bathroom. So 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1 gym, kitchen, living room, dining area. Yeah, I think the architecture of this house is interesting. Yeah, it's just a special house. I really like the way it turned out to look like. If you've got any suggestions for the next Around the World speed build, please let me know, because we've had very many houses already, so I'd like to get some suggestions for you, because I really have to think very hard now to come up with something new. But anyways, if you enjoyed this video, except for the interior, please subscribe to my channel. Also like this video if you did enjoy it, and then I hope to see you back in another video later.